was ready to slander Baker Mayfield. That game was boring up until that last drive. I turned the game off. I don't know about you. I turned the game off with 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter because it was just a punt after punt. Both those teams just stink. The Raiders have been disappointing all season long. They come in on that 3-game winning streak. But we know who they are. We know that they've been a massive disappointment all year long. Josh McDaniels has been a massive disappointment. And on the other side, the defending Super Bowl champions off to the worst start in NFL history. So what does it take to save the game? Baker Mayfield. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that man is what would have taken to turn that game around?
Yeah, that's nuts. And I'm actually on the opposite side of that track. I actually was enjoying watching Baker on literally 48 hours notice play that game. And now given it was punt after punt after punt, but he himself wasn't doing bad. I mean, clearly you saw there were some throws that he was off target, miscommunications. But as far as you're in that system for 2 games, you don't even get a real practice.
Yeah, he's reading off that little play chart, and McVay's play 14. Yeah, and he's trying to bark it out, and oftentimes you see a few plays where he goes to hand the ball off, and next thing you know, Cam Akers is over there.
Yeah, and Cam Akers was really bad. He had that fumble, and then you also had just that offensive line was just bad all game long. The Raiders' defense was great that entire game up until the last 5 minutes, and at that point, do you really put it on the defense solely? I mean, the defensive play calling the last drive, why aren't you playing prevent? You're if you're up 3, I could understand you playing press man-to-man, like Richard Sherman said last night, but you're in, when you're up 6, they can't score a touchdown.
Yeah, you look at the guys they had on the field, Ben Skoranek, Van Jefferson, Powell, no players that anybody would go to bat for and say, I want them as my starting wide receiver. They're playing just who they had available. Baker probably doesn't even know how to pronounce Skoranek yet. He's barely even met the guy.
Can you?
I think I just did. I think I got it right. Skoranek? I think that's right. But he goes out there on the last drive in the most important part of the game, and Baker goes into this now era with the Rams era. It's probably just going to be these next few games to end out the season. But he knows this is it. He's worn his welcome with the Browns. He worn his welcome with the Panthers. Got demoted all the way down to 3rd string there. Gets the release. Ends up in LA. Probably wanted to end up in San Francisco, where he had an opportunity to then potentially be the starting quarterback for a Super Bowl winning team. But no, he gets on the Rams, and it's not easy. The offensive line is all beat up. Sean McVay, is he checked in as the head coach? I mean, I listened to Colin Cowherd yesterday and saying, hey, if McVay's offered a 4-year deal to become Amazon, the broadcaster for the Amazon Thursday night games, he'd probably take it. There's barely anybody that's locked in for the rest of the season on this Rams team. And then Baker Mayfield shows up. And the entire room is electrified. Because that's what Baker is. Baker's a showman. Mm-hmm. He may not be the most talented quarterback. He might not be the most accurate, the tallest, the fastest, the strongest. But you're going to be entertained watching Baker Mayfield one way or another, because he's going to light it up or he's going to play like hot garbage. And then it's going to be fun to talk about it like we are right here today.
And he's going to headbutt his teammates.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. I love seeing it.
He's going to get concussion one of these days.
I mean, he was in concussion protocol when he did it earlier this year. And I doubt that was the reason why, or maybe it was just a quick checkup. But when Baker's going well, you love him as your guy. You love rallying around him because he is a rah-rah guy. He is somebody that is going to hype up the troops, get them ready to go to battle. And then he'll throw 50% in 2 interceptions, and you're like, okay. This is why he's on his 3rd team now.
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be a guy to absolutely carry your offense. And we see that with Carolina, they don't really have, they have DJ Moore. They have, Foreman's really good. I like Foreman. But they had CMC to start the season. But that offense never really went anywhere. And why didn't it go anywhere? Was it Baker? Was it PJ? Was it Sam Darnold? Now, Sam Darnold's back from injury, and they saw him, and they liked him better than Baker, and they thought PJ played well enough to, be the backup to Sam Darnold. So then he got to 3rd string because he was injured for half the season as well. He may have wanted to go to San Francisco, but I think, honestly, the best place for him was the Rams, because we don't know the injury status with Stafford going forward. Is his career done? Like,
well, he's definitely out. I'd say he's out for the season here, one way or another, because of the fact that they're so far gone now. It's like with Cooper Kupp and a lot of fantasy owners who have Cooper Kupp, your boy included. Obviously, we want him to come back, but the Rams are so far gone at this point. It's like, why even play these guys? So the entire team, the entire organization is pretty much checked out, shrugging their shoulders, like, okay, guess the season's done. And Baker comes in with Sean McVay. Sean McVay, they were talking a lot on the broadcast last night, something that I didn't know, that Sean McVay is actually a big fan of Baker, I guess one of the last fans of Baker Mayfield, and he trusted him. John Wolford gets a start. He sees one drive of Wolford. He's like, okay, Baker, you're going in.
That's actually not the case, sir.
What do you mean?
John Wolford was dealing with an injury going in, and he just couldn't play through the injury.
Yeah, but he played the first drive, right?
I mean, he played for this drive, but he couldn't continue through his injury. It's like
it's probably a little bit of both.
It's like if Teron Armstead starts this weekend and he can't continue.
It was probably a little bit of both. He saw what Wolford went out there and did. On top of the fact that he's injured, it's like, look, if that's what Wolford's going to do, Baker, again, if nothing else, is going to rally the troops and has the potential to pull something out of his bag and put out that last drive like he did. They walk away with a win, and Baker Mayfield now is the talk of the town in a positive light. Baker Mayfield's had all this negative attention for the last year plus.
Pretty much since he came out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, but that one season he had with Cleveland, they got to the division round of the playoffs after destroying the Steelers in Pittsburgh, the first round of the playoffs, then goes into Arrowhead, nearly gets out of there with a victory, falls to Chad Henne. Well, it is what it is. He's had his good moments, and a lot of the time now it's been Baker, he's not a good quarterback. Baker Mayfield, he's a distraction. Baker Mayfield, is he even rosterable? He's a bust. All these negative attention, and it's so good to see this energy around him that he's had now with the Rams. Now then you look at the flip side, and you look at Derek Carr, and you just got to feel for the man, because he cares. And that's something that is undeniable, is he cares about his team, he cares about his players, he cares about his cities, now playing for 2 cities with the Raiders. He's only had one playoff game. There was 140 yards yesterday. I said a few weeks ago, maybe actually a couple months ago, that I think he's done as the Raiders quarterback. I think it's kind of a healthy breakup, because I think both sides want to break up, but I mean, you need more from your quarterback than 140 yards, only finding Devontae Adams 3 times on 70 yards.
I'm not putting this at all on Derek Carr.
I am.
He had that terrible interception.
It's the same story it's the same story with him time and time again.
But
he has this talent. You know he has this arm talent, and you know he's a good guy.
When did they pass the ball? They didn't pass the ball.
What happened when he did pass? Bro, we were literally on the phone talking about interception as being one of the worst interceptions.
Yeah, it was by far one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. That's not the reason they lost the game. They lost the game.
I'm not saying he's the reason they lost the game. I'm just saying it's time for them to break up.
I mean, I agree with you on that, but I'm saying, at this point, this isn't on Derek Carr right now. Like, we do feel for the man.
He's not completely to blame, but he's the starting quarterback of a team that is now
But you're saying you need more than 140 yards out of your quarterback. Yes, you do, but that involves your coach actually calling a pass play. That involves your coach actually being creative with their calls.
Just over 50% passing, 2 interceptions, including on that last play, which again he just lofts it up there, loop-de-doo, here you go, rap.
That was
his 2 interceptions were hideous.
Okay, that last.
I love Derek Carr. I love him as a person. I would love him as a leader in my locker room, and I know he has talent. I know he can win games. But he's played 1 playoff game in 8 years now.
It would have been 2 if he didn't break his leg.
But he did.
He did, and. Even going into that one that he did play, he was going in injured, wasn't he? And then, that was last year. But then also, they need to just, that offense is so big. That offense is worse this year with more weapons than it was last year.
It is.
With an interim head coach last year, you went and had a dynamic offense that Josh Jacobs ran the ball well in. He's running the ball well this year, but your pass offense isn't there. You're not running any kind of motions in the backfield. You're not being creative. It's throw it to Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it really has been that simple, and not in a good way simple. And I'm not going to defend McDaniel at all. I was getting ready.
McDaniels,
whatever it is, I could not care less. I was getting ready to defend him actually because I assumed the game was done and dusted. That would have been 4 games in a row, and then be a game and a half behind the Jets, or just a game. I'm not really sure, behind the Jets for the last wild card spot. I was getting ready to defend him, and then that second half performance came out there, and he couldn't manage a game where you're up against one of the most injured teams in the league right now. There was a home game for them. The stupid PA announcer, whose house? Raiders' house. He just didn't take the hint. You see the sea of black around you, sir. Whose house is it? No, it's Raiders' house.
Wait, you just said Raiders, but I know you meant the Rams.
No, it was Raiders' house.
No. You said the PA announcer said Raiders' house. He said Raiders' house.
I was saying that's what the fans were responding to.
Oh.
The fans were he was saying whose house, and the fans were saying Raiders' house because it is the Raiders' house. It's any team that goes in there's house.
Yeah, and that's why LA does not deserve a football team.
Well, they do, but
they don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
It's not about the fans. It's about the market. And they will eventually because they just got back. They will eventually build a fan base as the years go on. If they start winning again, one of the two teams.
I mean, hey, the Raiders were in Los Angeles at one point.
They were, exactly. So that's why. So see, there are strong, passionate fans. They're just not rooting for the Rams.
Yeah. So even go further than that. There's a statistic that I heard. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate or not. But all 4 games that the Raiders have led by double digits, they have lost.
That's horrible. I also saw something yesterday, not necessarily on top of it. I thought it was funny that the Seahawks put out that in that stadium this year, the Rams have 2 wins, the Chargers have 2 wins, and the Seahawks have 2 wins. I love a good social media team that can put something out there like that.
That's hilarious. I love that.
And I hope the Rams social media team takes advantage of Baker Mayfield because he's probably not going to be here for long. But while he's here,
you know what?
He's not going to be there for long.
This is a tryout. If Stafford is done, if his career is done,
he's not done.
They're talking about a spinal cord injury where his feet are numb.
Okay, I had the same issue. Well, not spinal cord, but
it's a spinal cord contusion where his feet are numb. Now, they're not 100% sure if this is career-threatening or not, but, I mean, hey, the man is older now. He's in his mid-30s. He has the Super Bowl ring. He's made his money.
Well, okay, Baker's not going to be the guy. Baker right now is putting on some tape, and he's trying to play good cop. He's trying to play, hey, guys, I can be of value to your organization. Maybe it's with the Rams, but I highly doubt it. But while he's here, it's probably going to be fun to watch.